Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on the time you're watching this video. I'm Ashley Reyna, 16 years old, a junior, and a varsity debater. I am from Eagle High School. I was born in Texas, but have been raised in Boise. Where? Boise, the capital of Idaho, the potato state, of course. My wish or goal is to go to Stanford University or one of the Ivy League schools out there in the East, which would also match my parents' expectations, which are soaring as high as the gas prices nowadays. For a brief roadmap, I'd like to address over the next couple minutes the Commander-in-Chief's most important duty, why it's important, and provide examples from the past, analyzing the successes and failures of this important duty. Personally, I feel that President as Commander-in-Chief is preoccupied with several responsibilities by having to worry about the military agenda, financial costs, and the list goes on. However, if I were to condense this list into the most important duty in respect to this question, then the Commander-in-Chief's main responsibility would be a strong justification behind why the war or battle is being fought. War in itself is a huge tragedy, which makes all the more sense that war is declared for a valid reason in the public's eyes. Unilateral action produces alienation. In other words, before Commander-in-Chief declares war and mobilizes the troops, the nation needs to be fully aware of what they're being dragged into and for which purpose. This purpose is defined by several reasons where the Commander-in-Chief's duty fights to prevail against any sort of political or social injustice.
Dating back to the mid-18th century, the man who wasn't president but held title to Commander-in-Chief was none other than our George Washington. With his strong will and the people's dedication for independence from Mother Britain, freedom eventually was in grasp for the Americans. A century later, after the American Revolution, old Abe Lincoln was Commander-in-Chief of the Union. Lincoln's morale during the Civil War was anti-slavery and preserving the Union, which drove the Union towards a decisive victory. Vietnam was a war where victory was never achieved, and over your Commander-in-Chief, President Johnson received much blame for the war in Vietnam. As the war dragged on, anti-war sentiments broke out with the draft, and suddenly the war being fought for became unclear in the public, making the Commander-in-Chief's duties and the war very unpopular.
In conclusion, Commander-in-Chief's duty should never shirk away from having a strong justification before plunging into war, considering that several of our heroic soldiers' lives are at stake.
Thanks for watching!